Welcome back to Extra Holiday Games. I'm Extra Holiday, and yes, we're still on this level. It's not an easy level, okay? It's just a little hard. It's not easy. You tried it. I did it when I was 6. Shut up. Anyway. I was just giving life advice in the last episode. I don't know if I have any more in me, actually. It was just something that I had been thinking about quite a bit. But yeah. How have I already run out of things to talk about? This is only the 3rd episode in the batch. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm a master at this. I can definitely be entertaining. Right? You were never entertaining. Shut up. That's the sort of thing that I would usually have future me say, or like when I initially conceptualize future me. Also, hi future me. I kind of conceptually thought of future me as like an audience stand-in, where it'd be a funny thing where I could criticize myself in post, basically, where the me that's editing is the cynical one who's just like, oh, you're fucking dumb, dude. Because hey, that's a big part of my humor, is self-deprecating humor. However, I've been finding more and more lately. 2 things, actually. One, I just don't really feel like I have the energy a lot of the time to okay, if we want to keep character. Future me doesn't have the energy a lot of the time to speak up. And the other part is, I don't know, I feel like I want to give room for you guys at home to think these sort of things for yourselves, right? If it's like, oh man, he's doing so bad, I can't believe he's still on this level, I feel like that's something I don't want to. I don't know, maybe that's just what makes it funny, though. I don't know. Man, one of the problems I have right now is I just don't have a ton of feedback. Like, because I am a smaller channel, and okay, maybe that's putting it lightly, but because I don't have a lot of people watching my stuff, there's not a lot of people commenting, not a lot of people being like, oh, I really like this, or oh, that was really dumb. So I'm basically just left with my own judgment on what is and isn't good. So it's really hard to. When I make a change to something, it's really hard to be like, oh yeah, okay, that's good. That's what we want. I don't know, man. Someday I'll get to a point where people will be, like, commenting and subscribing, to use that tired old phrase. But someday will be the day where I actually get feedback on these videos, and I can be like, oh, okay, I did this thing in this video and people didn't like it, so let me not do it. Or I did this thing in that video and people did like it, so I'll do that more. It's hard. It's hard to improve at something when you don't really have a whole lot of, when you don't have feedback, right? Like, imagine if you went to school and you didn't get grades, right? Or any sort of comment from the teacher about what you were doing right and what you were doing wrong, right? Imagine you got an English paper back and there were no marks on it, and you didn't even know till the class was over whether you passed or not. You had no idea. And then it would be very hard to be like, okay, I need to learn this thing because clearly I don't have a grasp on that, although I don't think that's how a lot of kids think about their schoolwork. I do. I think about my work, schoolwork, and all that like that, but the point I'm trying to make is that it's very hard. It's very hard to improve at something without someone to tell you, like, yes, this is good, or no, this isn't. Because then you're just relying on your own instinct, and it's like, a single person only knows so much, you know? And that's the other thing, is when you do have feedback, it doesn't necessarily mean that everything they say is correct. It just means that here is potentially something that could be true, right? Like, I believe it was the boys on Trash Taste. I've been listening a lot to their podcast, or maybe it was the OTV podcast. I don't remember. But there was a podcast I was watching where they were talking about comments, and actually I think it was Trash Taste. But they were talking about comments and how even if a comment isn't just like blatantly aggressive or angry or toxic, even if a comment is like politely worded and well-meaning, it doesn't necessarily mean that the person making that comment is right. Right? They could. It's still possible that essentially what it boiled down to, what they were essentially saying is that even nice people can be wrong. And that's true, right? Because, you know, good intentions don't always lead to good results. It's a kind of an unfortunate thing in our world, but it is true. So, if you do get feedback, and honestly, this happened in school, like even in middle school, high school, where I was like, and actually it happens quite a bit to me in my college work nowadays, where like I get feedback and I'm like, no, this is bullshit. The teacher doesn't know what they're talking about. And sometimes I'm right, sometimes. But sometimes but usually not. But the point is, it's not always as simple as if they're nice, then if it's constructive criticism isn't always correct, even if it is truly constructive criticism. It's just something to keep in mind, you know. But I'd still take constructive criticism that was incorrect over no feedback at all, because this is I just gotta guess. I just gotta guess about what is and isn't working on this channel for the most part. But I mean, there is some feedback that I get. Of course, I've got analytics that will show me that I have actually been looking into a bit recently. But I've got analytics that will show me like, oh, okay, these are the videos that are getting the most views, or these are the ones with the best average watch time, or what have you. But it's only so much, right? It's only one avenue, and it doesn't tell you that much, right? Because I can't pick out exactly. I can't even tell you, even after looking at my analytics, I can't even tell you whether it's better for me in any given circumstance to be talking about the game or talking about something else completely. Because, you know, currently I'm talking about anything but the game when it comes to this level, because I don't really have a whole lot to say. I could be reacting to the level, but again, there are reactions that you've all seen already. So why would I? But that, again, that's just me being like, okay, this is what I think is correct. But because the analytics aren't going to tell me, or maybe they do, but I at least can't read them well enough for them to tell me that, yeah, this is good, this is bad. Aside from just generic, like, oh, here are the most popular things on my channel, you know, and currently that is the Yui Pike video, and yeah, it's the Yumi Pike video and Pokemon Battle Revolution. Those are actually the most. Oh god, there are so many of them here. Oh god. I don't like how many Magic Koopas there are. Okay. Interesting. Am I supposed to move the spring around, or am I just supposed to leave it there? I'm not sure. Yeah. I have some feedback, is what I was trying to say, but I don't have a ton. Again, why did I do that? Yeah, so far I've only got, because I do watch almost all of my own episodes. The last episode of Minecraft that I put up, I didn't actually watch. I just edited it blind, basically. But because I do watch almost all of my episodes that I make, when I'm editing them, I do at least have a sense for how I feel when I'm watching them. And sometimes I'm like, okay, that was... Sometimes I finish watching one of my episodes and like, that was kind of boring. And also there's just this general... I don't know what this says about the quality of my videos, but a lot of the time, in fact, most of the time, I procrastinate when it comes to editing. I don't know what it is. It's not like, particularly once I've already got the batch edit done, it's not like it takes a whole lot of effort for me to edit for me to edit an episode at that point. It's pretty much just me. It's pretty much just me watching the episode to make sure nothing weird is happening with the audio or video at any point in the video, and just making the end part how it's supposed to be, which is, a couple of fade outs and some weirdly timed end cards. Point is, typically editing an episode isn't terribly hard. Like, it'll take me about 5 minutes longer than the episode actually is. Again, after the batch edit's already been done. Which is basically just doing everything that needs to be done on every video in the batch, and then splitting up the batch into particular episodes. Yeah, once that's done, there's not a whole lot of effort to editing it. But still, the point I was getting at, still, I end up putting it off. And I can't tell. I honestly don't know if it's just because I don't want, just because it's some amount of effort, right? And it's not terribly hard, but it is harder than, say, watching a YouTube video, which is something I do often. It's harder than that, right? It feels, at the very least, it feels like work a lot of the time. And I don't know if it's that or the fact that I just don't enjoy my videos as much, my own videos as much as I should. I honestly couldn't tell you, because I really don't know. I want to believe that it's the first one, that it's just because it feels like work. And because it feels like work, I'm like, I don't really want to do it. But it could be the other. Honestly, I don't know. That's another thing where having the feedback of others could be useful. Because again, I think I've said this before. But like, sometimes I'm like, is this even worth anything? Is all this effort even worth in making these videos? Is it even worth anything? Is anyone actually getting anything out of this? Because, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that. Sometimes it just feels like I'm doing this for no actual gain. And maybe that's the case, but maybe not. I don't know, because again, I don't have feedback. At the very least, I am committing myself to something, and I guess that's worth something, To commit myself to do something until it works. That's something, right? And I'm still trying to improve, right? I'm not just sitting here doing the same thing over and over again without putting in some effort to get better at what I'm doing. But again, those results can be hard to see. I don't actually know for certain that I am better than I was back when I was playing Pokemon Battle Revolution. Okay, well that kind of almost worked. I don't know. I don't know. But maybe I'll know next time. Because, as for this episode, that's a wrap. Future me, I made it easier for you to edit this one by pausing at the end.